All right, let's kick this shit.
We've been tasked with something very big.
Have we?
We have. They're saying, you know what?
Please.
I want to know what the greatest pinball machines ever
Yes.
made are.
Oh.
What's the list? Maybe not our opinion.
Yes.
Maybe not your opinion.
Yes.
But objectively,
The best.
what are the greatest pinball machines ever made? And we are here to give you the top 10 list today.
Well, there you have it, everyone. We have been tasked, Kev, to give our top 10 list. And we need help.
Are we qualified for this?
We are not qualified. Okay,
Not
so we're bringing on help in just a second, guys. We have some special guests that will help us with this because, Kev, as much as we love pinball, I don't know crap about them.
It's a whole new world out there as far as just even watching this video, Rex, or I learned things that they were saying that I never heard before. So yeah, I'm definitely underpowered for this conversation.
Yeah, and guys, so there is a video out there by Straight Down the Middle, a great channel. You guys got to check them out. If you haven't watched them, they're a great channel. Straight Down the Middle Pinball with Zach and Greg, and Zach is actually he owns, or I believe he's part owner of Flipping Out Pinball. He is a good guy. He actually takes my calls, my texts. I'll ask him questions, and he'll even answer. And I don't buy my pinballs from him. I haven't, but he'll still answer questions and help. So a couple of great guys. Yeah, Mike, this is now a pinball channel. Hey, I was the one who predicted Foo Fighters. So, all right, I'm the one who started the whole thing. So I've been a pinball channel since that whole prediction of Foo Fighters. So I don't want to hear anything about us not being pinball experts. Okay, guys. So we're going to go through their list and we're just going to critique it. We're going to talk about the games. It'll be good if you haven't seen the list because we're just going to show clips of what they did down from 10 to 1. And then we're going to talk about, what everybody else thinks should be on the list. And then we're going to get our expert's opinion. Okay. Let's bring them on, right, Kev?
Yeah, let's do
because
it.
we ain't talking through this. We need help.
We need the
All
best
right.
of the
Our
best.
first special guest is Wolfanoz.
Woo! What's
How
up?
you doing, Wolf?
What up, gang? Good. How are you?
Going on?
Are you ready?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Okay. So you're familiar with what they said, and we're looking for your criticisms or your approvals. Let's bring on our next special guest. You guys should know this gentleman, Cary Hardy.
Woo!
What's up, guys?
What's up, Cary?
Thank you for coming on, Cary.
Yeah, I decided to fit you guys in. All the other stuff going on here. Hopefully, my kids aren't screaming too loud over here. I just had to run over there and be like, wave through it. Like,
my kids always come up. My kid comes up and says, "Hey, everybody!" So don't worry about that if they bother you. No problems with that. You watched the video, Cary?
yes.
You're ready. Okay. For people that don't know Cary from my channel, go check him out. Mainly all pinball. Right, you do a little bit of other stuff. I've seen some arcade stuff, but very little.
I mean, very little. Very little. I'm mostly pinball. I dabbled in the arcade one-up thing over here on the side.
Yeah, we all dabbled in it.
That's my only toe in the water. No more.
Yeah, I think it was Blitz, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted the cabinet. I didn't need anything else.
Can I just say, Cary, one of my favorite videos by you is when you did the James Bond graphic reveal and you made the side art, dude. I'm still laughing at that.
Anybody
video.
can make that side
It was
art.
hilarious. So everyone check out Cary's channel. You're gonna die. He's hilarious.
And anyone who's done Photoshop knows exactly what you're talking about.
It
That's
was
the
so-
funny thing. All right, guys. So we're going to start with this video from them. I have the highlights of the video, guys. Thank you, Master Auto. Great topic. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Paul, Adam, Show Me Retro. Like I said, Master Auto, Loncani, obviously, Rich Rodello. Thank you, guys, for joining. I am going to start right away. Let's get into this top 10 list. We're going to start with honorable mentions, okay? First, Greg and Zach give some honorable mentions. Let's listen to what they say for honorable mentions. Did not make the top 10 list.
We had some yeah butts. Yeah butts include the Simpsons Pinball Party by Stern Pinball.
Fantastic code.
Yes.
Deep code. Lots
Theme
to do.
is awesome.
Theme is awesome. A lot of really good shots
A
in
lot
that
of
game.
toys, mechanisms.
Yes.
So why isn't it in the top
couch.
10? It just didn't make the cut. Talk about another short of the list was The Shadow of Bally Williams, and it's hard to get a
Yes,
Bally
one.
Williams game in there because of the code depth now days. If people are looking for code, they're looking for newer, more short from the top 10 list, but runner-up is Stern Pinball's Iron Maiden Legacy of the Beast.
That one was really tough.
How do you not have every Keith Elwin in the top 10? He's like the newcomer, the great.
Very tough.
Willy Wonka. Now, the reason we considered this is because we thought, what JJP game gets us the closest? And spoiler alert, there are no JJP games in the top 10 greatest pinball machines of all time.
Because Zach was a huge advocate for...
I liked Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka was
friend
for
Willy
me.
Wonka.
Also,
And the last runner-up or consideration was Bally Williams' Theater of Magic.
Ooh.
We thought, man, what are the most collectible, iconic, nostalgic games? You got things like
So many
Twilight.
great-
Okay. Show that $2 super chat. Thank you. That carries.
There's a huge one up.
What? You come on my show. You're already getting harassed.
He's
All
Oh,
right.
bring it on there, Stringer.
All right, guys. So you heard some honorable mentions. My friend actually has the Willy Wonka. It's a pretty good game. I don't think it makes the top 10. But is there any, Wolfanoz, we'll start with you, any honorable mentions that they left off?
That I can think of, like top 10 wise. No, it's pretty close. I think Theater of Magic, if anything, should make 10.
Okay.
If anything. That was about the only one I thought of that, should be in the top 10, but everybody loves that one too. With all the others. So that's
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I like Theater of Magic, right, Kev? You're a fan of Theater of Magic.
Yeah, definitely a fan. I'm a fan of this one too. Stringer Film says if Getaway ain't on your list, we got some problems. But yeah, we're gonna have some problems, Stringer. This list is very selective.
It's a selective. Cary, any honorable mentions you think they left off?
Well, I mean, they did include at least a J-pop game in there, which was the Theater of Magic. So, but for me, I guess I was expecting them to mention World Cup Soccer '94. Honestly,
Wow,
I figured
okay.
that would have been a great honorable mention for that. But what they did mention, I'm just like, okay, yeah. But I was expecting. It's one of those things where I was just more surprised. Like, well, where's World Cup Soccer? That should at least deserve an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar too much with World Cup Soccer, so I can't say yes or
agree
no,
with
but
that.
I'm going to give you guys mine, obviously.
It's
If
one I got
anybody-
right back here.
Right back there. It must be good if you say it. I'll take your word.
It's a sleeper pin for a lot of people. I didn't expect to like it. And I went up to it at Texas Pinball Festival years ago, and then I fell in love. Did not expect it. I was like, soccer, this is going to suck. No, it turned out to be a really good game.
Right. Yeah, soccer isn't one of my sports anyway, but, Okay, everybody knows Whitewater, huge Whitewater fan. I could have used an honorable mention. Maybe not top 10, even though it might be in my top 10 list, but I'm throwing Whitewater in there. I'll give you guys one. Twilight Zone. No? Okay. No honorable mention?
It's one of those. They didn't mention overrated pins. I think they've done a video for when it comes to like top overrated pins, but like Twilight Zone and Adam's Family are like just
Whitewater was in their
overrated.
list too. Whitewater was in their overrated list too. But Greg defended it. Greg defended Whitewater. So
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to top 10. Here we go.
Objectively, what the pin gods have told us, they said number 10 is Stern Pinball Star Trek.
Whoa!
Star Trek.
Who would have thought that?
Kobayashi Maru.
So this was the one. This is what took the place of a lot of those games that we had on there.
That considerations.
And what we kept going back to
Steve Ritchie
was
That's what we
the
kept going
flow
back
of
to.
that game.
Yes, the King of Flow got his name from a game just like this.
Yes.
Some of the greatest shots in pinball.
But you can also, your family can step up to it. Everybody can step up to it. It's like kind of one of those universally loved.
That's why it's one of the pins that we recommend for people getting into pinball. One of
Yes.
the first ones we recommend to get is Star Trek
Yes.
by Stern Pinball.
Okay, Star Trek. This one surprised me a little bit, even though I know it's a good game and I have played it minimally. But when I was growing up, I was playing Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, and that was a good game. Star Treks were better than Star Wars, in my opinion, or at least that one was. And this one is probably better than the Star Wars Stern, I would guess. I mean, I've played both, and I didn't really like Star Wars. Wolfanoz, will start with you again. Is this a good one? Top 10?
Yeah, I still prefer the Williams Next Generation game over that one, as much as I love that game. And that was the first brand new Stern I bought in a box, was that Star Trek right there.
Yeah.
It's a great game. I love it.
That was 90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Was
early, like mid, like 2000. What was it?
Was it in 2000? I thought it was. Anyway.
Oh, you mean the Williams one?
I'm talking about the Next Generation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's mid 90s.
Okay. Cary, Star Trek.
For me, it's like, yeah, I mean, I've owned a Star Trek Next Generation, and I wanted to keep it, but the wife said no, she didn't care for it. So I was like, all right, well, sold it, regret it. But I met a really good friend of mine due to the selling of that pin. But yeah, the new Star Trek definitely took a homage to the Star Trek Next Generation, like the warp shot and everything like that. Yep. It's just, and they mention it, Greg and Zach do, that warp shot, like warp 1, warp 2. When you hit that and you're hearing those call outs, it's just one of those where you just want to keep going, and it's just a great feeling shot. Yeah. And I think a lot of the pins that you'll see in this top 10 are due to just, it feels good to make a particular shot.
Yeah. All right, $2 from Stringer. Thank you very much. If Pinbot or Flash make the top 10, I'm out. Well, you'll have to stick around and see. Is Pinbot that bad? I mean, it's not that bad of a game. What was the follow-up to Pinbot? It was
Bride of Pinbot.
Bride of Pinbot. Yeah. Is that one better?
I like Bride over the rest of them.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kev, Star Trek.
I mean, it's all subjective. I think it's fine. You know, a lot of these games, I don't have long memories because when you go in and you play them, you only play them once or twice. Like Wolfanoz owns it. So he puts the time in, he knows the game. And
I used to anyway.
The same way he used to. Yeah. So like when I play these games, I was in an arcade for 10, 20 minutes. So some of these games I don't have a valid opinion on because I don't put the time in like I do now. And the play digitally is not the same.
Right.
So what I remember was fine, you know.
Yeah. It's still, we all agree it's better than Star Wars?
Yeah.
Unless you're a huge Star Wars fan, this game's a better game.
The Star Wars is a workout for me. If you want to play it well, I mean, you're hitting that action button like you're playing Street Fighter or something, just trying to hit those particular moves. I'm like, are you trying to do a Hadouken, or are you trying to get my multiplier up to 40x? So otherwise, you just, that's
the first thing you're replacing on that game is that button too.
Yeah. You just mash it trying to get to 40x.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's get through this list. Move that thing there. I can play this. There we go. Number 9.
Good. Number 9 on the top 10 greatest pinball machines ever produced is another Stern pinball game. It's Metallica. Oh, now this is one that I don't own, nor will probably own.
I don't think I'll buy another one.
But objectively, it's just one of the greatest. Yes. Like you were saying about Star Trek, it's just so well-rounded.
A music pin that just sounds, I mean, it's Metallica.
Metallica might be the best matched music for a pinball machine. Maybe even better than AC/DC.
Amazing, unique.
Close.
Artwork is like...
Okay, Metallica. Now, I'm a huge Metallica fan, or at least was, not so much as in the recent time frame anymore, but huge fan of their old music. A lot of old music on that one. Ride the Lightning theme or Injustice for All. Cary, we'll start with you, Metallica.
I have never played the premium of this game. I've only played the pro. So when I see them showing footage of the premium with all the other toys, the hammer coming down and stuff like that, I'm like, man, I'd like to get to play this game with all those extra features. But with the pro, I enjoy playing the pro. I played a really good pro that seemed like the premium because it had a bunch of mods and side art blades that lit up and everything and stuff like that. But it's a good game. It's one that I don't ever go, oh man, I want to add it to my collection or anything. But it's a good game.
Is 9th a good position for Metallica?
Yes. Okay. I mean, down at the bottom of the list, yeah. And compared to what else is ahead, yes.
When we get there, right. Wolfanoz.
I'm with Cary on that. I've only played the pro as well. And, I mean, I loved it. It was a fun game, but I haven't played it with all the bells and whistles either. So, but I think that's a best fit. I think 9's a good fit for that game. It's one of the better music games.
Okay.
So,
Kev, have you played it?
I played it, but I don't. When Cary says he played the premium, I'm not sure what I played sometimes.
When didn't play the premium.
Yeah, but I don't know what version I've played. Like sometimes when I'm in these bars, I don't know what I'm playing. Like, is it the premium or not? But if you like Metallica, you like the music, it's going to be 90%, there for you. So I had a good time with it. Top 10, I don't think so though. Not if I had a list. I wouldn't put it top 10.
I don't know if you know this, but all the Stern pins have a jukebox mode. Like you can literally hold the button down.
Oh wow!
Like the flipper, and you can like cycle through the tunes.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But I do that on the Foo Fighters. I put it into what I forget what, jukebox mode or whatever. And they have a little graphic. You see some disco stuff and all that, and just let it play. Realm Chat, thank you for the chat. Medieval Madness, Attack from Mars, Fishtails, Theater Magic. All right, we'll see which one of those come through here. But what I did want to say, as Kev said, that when you're in the bar and you're looking at a game, above the left speaker of the Stearns, you'll see whether it's premium or pro. There will be a little marker, label.
I'm up on Chania though on that though. I think AC/DC's, as far as the music fans go, that's my favorite.
Yeah, and they mentioned that they're like, okay, AC/DC, Metallica, great music pins. So AC/DC is great. That is true. And I'll spoil it. Didn't make the list. Didn't make the list here.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to number 8. Right, we're on 8, I believe.
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Who are you going to call, Greg?
Yeah, it's still a
Flipper
great game. Yes. Like, listen, that game will teach you to nudge. That game will teach you to slap save. Mm-hmm. That game will teach you a lot about playing pinball.
Teach you new curse words, too.
Yeah, it will. He's one of the geniuses.
The genius coders that can integrate like no other. So you really feel like you're pulled into that with the lighting, with the call-outs, with the music even. Yes. Oh, the moments. Dwight Sullivan, code-wise, is a moment maker. Yes. He is pinball's moment maker.
Wow. All right. So, Ghostbusters. The first thing they say, guys, is the flipper gap.
Do you know what he's talking about?
What's that?
Do you know what he's talking about when he says that?
Well, that the gap between the two flippers is really wide, right?
It's wider than any other game because it's actually a defect in the design. John Trudeau screwed up on his AutoCAD, and nobody caught it.
Okay. But it's huge flipper gap, so you're getting drained a lot down the middle, right? I mean,
I forgot how much bigger the gap is. It's like millimeters kind of thing, but it's
most of all his games had huge gaps too. I mean, that's his trademark, was having a huge gap in his games. And so
it's not fun for the average player or the novice player.
I think you're going to enjoy it. I mean, it's visually a fun game to play as well. I mean, you get the art package by Zombie Yeti. I mean, they mentioned all the good perks to it. It's one of those games where I really wish they would do the Ghostbusters today with the new display and everything, because that was, I think that was actually the last game that used that particular display with the red dots. And they moved on, I want to say, after that to the actual displays that we see here, because I think Batman 66 was the first one. Or was it Aerosmith? One of those two.
Okay. Wolf, Ghostbusters.
I like it. I actually prefer the Pro over the Premium because the Magna Slings drive me crazy. So, and then a lot of people that play like, they don't want the ball going Cary, everywhere. So when it hits the sling, so a lot of people prefer the Pro over the Premium. So
it's one of those games that you can mod the hell out of too. Add all kinds of stuff in there to make it look like a Premium.
Okay. Nice. Okay, educate me and the fans, Cary, on John Auer. I'm down with that.
I'm guessing they're talking about John Trudeau. He has a. Is he still in prison? I'm going to assume he might be.
I think he's out, but he's still got the bracelet on.
So John Trudeau, he's done plenty of games that everyone would recognize and everything. So if you don't know, he was it's one of those things where I don't know if we can actually say it on YouTube because it may do something with your channel. Okay. But he's done stuff with videos of children and stuff.
Okay.
Buying and selling videos.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Interesting story.
Yeah.
People are going to go Google him.
Yeah, his last game was WWF, which did horribly. No one really wanted that game anyway. So it's like, and then now you have the stigma of his name on it, so it doesn't help it at all either.
Okay. All right, John is still in the tank, and he thinks so. That's interesting to learn something new. All right, let's move on. We got to get through this list. Number 7.
And this may be his greatest game ever. It's Deadpool.
Ooh,
Deadpool.
Done.
Deadpool might be the most well-rounded pinball machine of all time.
Truth. And period. As we spoke about Star Trek, this is our second game that we will recommend to any new pinball person. Say, hey, you know what? You want something that mechanically it's very sound, something that plays very well, something that's fun. is that this game is always
Put your finger on it,
progressing.
Ray.
Like when you're playing this game, it's not just trying to run through those modes. There's always something else you're achieving. Like, okay, I can go over here and I can hit one of the sub modes, or I can still just do a fight, a battle.
Okay, Deadpool. Now, to me, this is a great game as, like they said, a starter game. Kids, there's a lot of cartoons, a lot of, stuff going on in the DMD. That's fun to watch. But I don't like the game myself as, maybe top 7. Maybe it makes top 10 in my opinion. Wolfanoz, give us your thoughts.
That's a perfect fit for me. I own the game, so
Okay. Oh wow,
that's a good spot for it. I have the pro. I don't have I've never played the premium, but I've heard all about the premium with the prop up ramp and everything. But you can mod. That's another game, like Cary said, you can mod the hell out of it and make it close to a premium too. So it's a great game. I love it. I mean, it has all the '80s sounds like from an '80s arcade alone. That alone like grabs you. So.
All right, let me do this $2 from Stringer. Thank you very much. His real name is ? Oh, of course, he's got to get a dig in with that.
I just see Matt going everywhere, paying for everything with $2 bills. Like he just got, like he's gonna pull out a wad of $2. Make it rain.
To make it rain on.
He's over there tucking the $2 bills in the bikinis and everything and stuff.
Give me my $2. Oh, thank you, Stringer. It's always $2. Gotta love it. All right, Cary, what do you think about this Deadpool game?
Deadpool is a game that I want. It's a game that I don't really need to own it because it's actually pretty close to me at a family event center. It's a pro model, and it literally cost me $1 to play that game for an hour. Because you have the public that play it so much that the replay is down so low.
Set low.
So I get over there and I'm just winning the free game. And sometimes the replay will go around and I'll get a match. So I'll get another free game. Yeah. But I'll sit there and I can play that game for like an hour solid, no problem. While the other kids and my wife's doing the coin pusher stuff, I'm over there just rocking Deadpool for a straight hour. It's a game that's, it definitely deserves to be on the top 10.
Okay, Kongs R Us says he played it today. Yeah, maybe it just didn't grow on me when I played it. But Katana ramp is probably still coolest replacement for wireform ramp.
Yeah, and that shot to make that is one of those shots where you're not guaranteed to make it every time. You'll think that just because it goes in that particular lane, I'm going to make it. Like sometimes it's just a little bit off and it kind of clunks. So when you actually do get up there and it makes it up the ramp and goes and feeds the katana, it's just really satisfying. One of those games I told you that, sometimes it's just got one really good shot that feels good. And that's just one of those shots that feels really good.
So I think, Kev, if people are thinking about getting a game, this is the one for people to get. Good theme, good play. Everybody knows Deadpool. Yeah. How about the humor in it? Is the call outs, you guys, are they good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my favorite table so far that they listed because it's like they said, when you go up to this table, you can just play it and things are happening and it's easy to kind of get into in the flow of it. So yeah, I mean, if I had money, this would be one of my first thoughts of getting a pinball in my house. Definitely.
Yep. Deadpool. Yeah. I know Retro Ralph wants Deadpool. So I think he's ready to trade his foos for Deadpool maybe. So somebody's got one out there. They might trade him. All right, $2 for Stringer. Thank you very much. They won't take the $2 bills at the strip joint. I don't know.
They learned their lesson from you.
I think they will. I think you won't let them go. You're like, oh, these are my $2 bills. Hold on, let me get some change.
These are my super chat bills.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Stringer. Deadpool is called back to the older tables. Okay, it's good pro pinball. Yep, pro pinball. The pro version is very good, right, guys? So if you're thinking. Yeah. Go with, if you're tight on money, you want a pro version will suffice. All right, let's get through this list. That one off here. There we go. What are we on? That was 6.
Number 6. Number 6 on the top 10 greatest pinball machines ever made is The Walking Dead.
Yes.
Stern Pinball's The Walking Dead.
Now, some of you may disagree because it might be a little too hard for you.
Oh, it's too hard for you.
But
it has some of the greatest wizard modes of all time, including Horde, a reachable mode, but very cool. Like 4 or 5 different wizard modes. Yes. Maybe one of the hardest wizard modes of all time, Last Man Standing.
And it's one of those games that you can take and you can go, okay, I'm going for Horde. Okay, I'm going for these modes. I'm going for Walker kills. Siege, yeah, like you actually, it's not just a linear game.
Okay. Got to be transparent here. Maybe only played it once, so I can't give my thoughts. Cary, we'll start with you. Everybody loves this game.
I don't have a lot of time on this game either, but it's not a game this is the only game out of their top 10 where I was like, I would replace it with another game, but that's because I don't have a lot of time to basically say it's good or bad. I mean, I've only played it a few times it shows.
Yeah. Now, Wolf, when we were talking about what I was going to get for my first pinball long ago, this was in your top 3 when you told me what to get. I remember.
Wow.
You
was
were
decent.
top 5.
Hey, I don't know about top 5.
Okay,
top 5.
Top 5.
But this rewinding a little bit, if I had a chance to put AC/DC here, I would. This is where I put AC/DC.
Okay.
Because I've played this game enough, and I mean, I love the show and everything, but it just, I mean, the crossbow features neat on the premium. But I mean, it's decent. I mean, I guess this is the one where I disagree. But I mean, I think AC/DC is the better game here as far as games go compared to that. If I had to put AC/DC anywhere, it'd be right here.
Okay.
So,
all right, $2 from Stringer. Oh. Thank you very much, Stringer. I need these guys' dealer's phone number. Which dealer? They're pinball dealers?
Yeah, pinball dealer?
Or another type of dealer?
867-5309. That's the number.
867. Thank you, Stringer. Thank you. All right.
Got your number on the wall.
All right, we're down to top. Master Auto says AC/DC's better. Okay. I mean, I know a lot of people love The Walking Dead, so I'm not a fan of the theme. So I've maybe watched a couple episodes of it. That's it. I think you got to be a fan of the theme of this game if you're going to buy it. If you're going to put the money out there, you got to be a fan of the theme. Okay, let's get down to the top 5.
There we go.
Kong's off limits for sale. He loves it that much.
Wow.
See?
Somebody.
No, won't even
Jurassic
sell
Park. Welcome to the world of Jurassic
number
Park,
5.
the visitor center. Yeah, this game has maybe the best toy in pinball, one of the best toys in pinball. And the premium LE of the T-Rex.
Yeah.
Grabbing the ball, chewing it, throwing it.
Yeah.
It's you can shoot combos all day on this. So it's got some inverted ramps.
But you pay for those shots. Well, I say that it's not a drain monster to kick back, but you get a lot of bricks. Like if you have, it's a pinball shooter's dream.
It is.
Like you have to shoot, but like you said, like if you can shoot, you're gonna have a lot of flow with this game. It's not something like Star Trek, but you can get a lot of really good flow on this.
Not an easy game.
No, it's not
a tough game.
But it's one of those things, created by someone who does, tons of competitions.
Yeah. He's the greatest pinball player of all time.
Yes.
He proved it here. He also is not just a one-hit wonder in Iron Maiden.
Yes.
He follows up and says, no, I know what I'm doing.
All right. Now, this is one I can comment on, and I am biased, so we'll start with Cary on this one. Jurassic Park.
Well, as you can see, I also own it back here because it's an amazing game. It was one of those, I remember watching the initial release trailer for it, and I was like, I mean, the only thing I didn't care for about it, and I still kind of don't, is the art package for it. I gave Johnny crap for the package that he did for this game, and it didn't have anything from the movie visualized. It had some call outs and everything, but I've got the movie code on mine. So the code I have in my game, it has that updated, and that's basically completed the package for me. So it's definitely a game that deserves to be in the top range where it's at. I mean, I completely agree. I traded my TMNT for it whenever one came available. I was like, I've got to get this game because it was one that I just wanted to have.
So let me explain what he's saying for people that aren't following. When the actors come on, they're not the actors' voices, except for Nedry. Okay, so Nedry is the real actor's voices, but what Cary's saying is that he has alternate code, right? That puts the right actors' voices in and the right call outs and that is the one downfall of this game, in my opinion. All right, Wolfanoz, thoughts?
Yes, I own this as well. It probably belongs where it belongs right now on the list. It's a fun game. I actually traded it. I did a 2-for-1 trade for it because I had a premium. But, I mean, I got kind of tired of it, so I got a 2-for-1 trade out of it. So I got a Guardians and a Terminator 3 out of it.
Wow.
So,
okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But I just got, it's a great game. I just, got a little old for me. So, and plus I was getting a 2-for-1. So,
yeah. You
can't beat that.
You can't beat that. All right, Kev, you've played it.
I played it. This game is awesome. The music alone just gets you. And they're right, because when I first started playing, I was bricking my shots. I was like, what's so once you get into that flow state, and once you started to teach me how some of these things were going, I was having so much fun. I wish I could have, played.
That's a must-have shaker motor game too. You gotta have a shaker motor.
100%. Remember, I turned it on, Kev, on high, and it shook the whole house.
I think your wife was screaming.
Yeah. When if you put it on high and T-Rex comes on and screams, that shaker motor is going the whole time when he's Okay, here are my thoughts on the game, why I love it too. Lots of great shots. I love the randomness of it. And when I say randomness, you hit the truck, right? You got to hit the truck. That ball can go anywhere. Random. You hit the Raptor gate. Awesome gizmo. That ball can go anywhere. So it's not just like, oh, you're a great pinball player and you're shooting lanes and you stop the ball and you shoot lane. So there's a lot of randomness, and I really like that about pinball. So the other thing I don't like, but it makes kind of the game good, is the right lane is horrible. It always drains down the Nedry lane on the side, and we can't stand that. And Foo Fighters is the same thing. Obviously, because same help design, but that right lane, the ball just always wants to kick and go down it, and that'll drive you crazy. Other than that, love the game. Top 5 definitely game of all time. All right, moving on, or we could talk about Jurassic Park all day.
I mean, yeah, I've got the Pro, but I've got the moving T-Rex mod for my Pro because I really wanted that, and luckily that was already in the game when I bought it. I was like, sweet. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a shaker motor game. I was surprised that with my daughter, because she's a big Jurassic Park fan, and she's one of those weird kids that whenever she's watching it, she's like laughing that people are dying. And she's like, you're gonna die. She's a big fan of dinosaurs. So whenever I did a video surprising my daughter with the Jurassic Park, and her reaction when she saw the T-Rex head moving and it's shaking and everything was a really good reaction.
Yeah,
that's how mine was too.
Yes. It's gonna be hard to top that one, but here we go. Let's see what's more. People in the comments. I don't know. Let's see what 4 is.
The really stupid YouTube videos that know nothing about pinball that still know how to rank top.
That's us. At least me and Kev. All right. Thanks for talking about us there, Zach.
Top Medieval Madness.
Yes.
Number 4, Medieval Madness. Brian Eddy, Lyman Sheets again.
Yes.
On code. This is a 1997 game, 1996, 97 game. But everybody knows the castle.
Yeah.
You bash the castle. It's comedic.
Drawbridge comes down.
Yeah, drawbridge, and then you defeat the castle. You locking balls through the wall, and it's got a lot of humor in this.
Yes.
Modern pinball.
Yeah. The ramps are smooth. I love the split ramps.
Oh yeah.
So weird. You don't think that it should work and what it should do, but when you get a return off
flow, the damsel shot.
Yeah, the damsel shot's amazing.
I love that.
The trolls.
The trolls popping up. That was like a
trolls. Very cool. Very cool about the trolls. I'm guessing you mean Indiana Jones. Show me retro. No, that's not top 10.
Not top 10.
Okay. This was redone, right? This game.
Yes.
Okay. Because my friend again has Willy Wonka and he has this. Very fun game. Very fun game. I personally think a little lower on the top 10, but we'll start with you, Wolfanoz. Medieval Madness.
I feel it needs to be a little bit higher because that was a big game they got. Yeah.
You mean the higher 3. Meaning top 1, 2, 3?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, man. See how dumb 3. We are? We don't know anything.
That's a great game. I mean, I remember playing that countless hours at a ball. That's actually where I started to pick up my speed and learning pinball, and just the techniques of everything was in that game. So, I mean, especially when you're fighting trolls, you got to, cradle the ball and just, try to take your shot at the trolls. So stuff like that, I felt it deserved at least another notch. So,
okay. Cary?
This is one of those games where it was like, obviously it's got to be up there. And so I think the other game that they're going to talk about eventually is also this, but mainly I'm going to feel like I'm going to be reiterating what Zach and Greg have already mentioned. It's definitely the call outs and just the gameplay in general, obviously. But once again, you've got that one shot and that fires into the castle, and you have that one coil that does all the work for all the castles moving around the explosion. And it's that one shot that just doesn't get old. You don't just go, I got it in the castle again. Here we go. Watch this show.
Yeah.
Like, no, it feels good every time you get it in there. And but the call outs definitely is right there with it. But it's a very fun game. I would love to own it one day. I mean, if someone had a Medieval Madness, whether it be old or Chicago Gaming remake, I'd trade you my Cactus Canyon.
Oh, there you go. Speaking of Cactus Canyon, Wolfanoz, would you like to talk about that really quick? I think it's a
I
cool
actually
story.
ended up winning that in a raffle unexpectedly. Yeah.
Holy
I actually won it in a
crap.
raffle. I got a phone call from, the vendor. I'm like, what? They're like, did you check your Facebook? I'm like, no. And she sent me a Facebook message showing them in front of it with my name on it.
Jeez.
I was like, holy
incredible.
mackerel. Yeah.
Incredible. The
Same one Cary has.
Nice.
Best draw. And what did you do with it? Sell it?
No, I still have it.
You still have it? Okay. I
Oh,
didn't know. I know you talked about it. You didn't know.
No.
Okay.
That's a great game. You can't get rid of that one.
Okay. I was going to
Even
bring
better
this
now.
up as honorable mention or something, but Cactus Canyon, I'll spoil it. It's obviously not top 3.
There's a code update coming out for that too to make it a little bit better. I think that Lyman Sheets was working on before he passed.
It's going to be a long time though.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm holding on to the game, is just going to see if the new updated board and code that's going to be going with it is going to be more. But I mean, real quick, everybody's waiting for my actual official review on the game, but it just real quickly in a nutshell, it's an overall fun pinball experience for a family.
Okay. Good. That's what we like to hear. So people can get that if you want. Family friendly. Everybody can play it. That's what we like to hear. Honest reviews, Cary. Honest. When you do your review, I want you to put on there honest review, because if you don't put honest review, you're not honest. I mean, it's obviously not honest if you don't put it.
You gotta be careful when I use the word review, but even then, if I don't use the word review, people are like, that's a horrible review. Like, I didn't even say it was a review.
It's so true.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, we're in the top 3.
Here we go.
The top 3. What is people thinking in the chat? They loved Medieval Madness as a top 5 at least. They agree with that. All right, let's go. Top 3. Here we go.
But the one, in our opinion, takes just a little bit of step ahead and better is Attack from Mars. Attack from Mars was remade by Chicago Gaming as well. The LE package is undeniably greatness with the topper and everything. But just if we're talking about the Bally Williams game, it is a Brian Eddy again.
Yes.
We see Brian Eddy twice in the top 4 here, rightfully so. And we see Lyman Sheets again.
Yes.
That's a trend here. Lyman Sheets doing code on this.
It is fun. The aliens shaking on there, and everything when you're attacking them. The call outs on it are just phenomenal. It's got a lot of heart to it. It's got a lot of personality.
And to get to rule the universe, it's not easy to rule the universe.
Yeah.
You can get to some, the first wizard, the big wizard mode's not easy to get to. So that's why it holds up today.
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
Wow. Top 3. Kev, we'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, this is the one that I've probably played the most, and for me, I'm a simpleton. I would put this in my top 1 because it never gets old going for that saucer shot, and then you see it come down if you don't hit it right, and every time you shoot it, you think you're draining, and and the aliens coming up. It's just so much fun, and the voice acting is amazing. Yeah, this is where it should be. I feel it should be ahead of Medieval Madness.
Yep.
And I think it's right where it needs to be. I love this game.
Yeah, I think the sound effects are awesome. Every time you destroy a city, whatever it's,
never
Viva
gets
la
old.
France, or I forget what they all are, but they're hilarious. Wolfanoz, will go to you. Number 3 on the list. It's number 1.
Oh, I'm not that simple then.
That's my number 1. That's my favorite game. If out of this list, I mean, other than the themes that we all love and everything, as far as our favorite games go on themes and such, overall, this is my number 1 game. I mean, it's a complete package. It's the shots, it's the call outs. It's it's a fun game. And I've gotten wizard mode once in my lifetime of playing it. So it's a tough game, but it's fun. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, well, you got to get the atomic bomb, right? You got to get the bomb and to blow up the thing, and it's not easy, but it's kind of easy.
Got an atomic blaster.
Yes, exactly. Cary, do you love Attack from Mars?
Yes, I do. A buddy of mine owns one as well. Another buddy of mine owns the remake. Both of them played. The remake was very, very good as well. It's one of those things where I feel like I'm just reiterating everything Kevin says and Wolfanoz says, but yeah, it's a game that I would definitely love to own. So, I mean, and you can also, once again, people make some really cool mods for this game as well to make it look even better than it already does.
Yeah.
I would trade my Cactus Canyon for a remake if I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
I love some of the sub games too, like they said, when the aliens come and they start shaking and you got to hit each one of them.
Yeah, definitely the call outs. And like, Kevin said, that it's that shot up the middle of that UFO, one single coil. is what does all the work, and it just never gets old.
Never
and
gets
then
old.
There's also a little history lesson here. Brian was working on an actual device for this game where a UFO was like on a little device that would go across the playfield that you'd hit.
Wow.
Kind of think of something kind of like Slimer on Ghostbusters.
Slimer.
Yeah. Something kind of like that. That was what he was wanting to do, but restrictions and cost and everything like that. They settled for what
moving
they had.
target. You're saying it was supposed to be a moving target.
Correct.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm perfectly content with what's on there.
So am I. I think right in the middle, smack there.
Yep.
Good with me. Good with me. All right, we got 2 left. Let's see what number 2 is. I got to be honest, guys. This one surprised me, but I don't know. We'll see what you guys think of number 2.
Yes.
It's the Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Such an iconic mini wizard mode.
Oh yes.
Oh
man, Destroy the Ring. That's my favorite wizard mode of all time.
It's so
Destroy
great.
the Ring. It's good.
Yes.
Right.
Code is what makes it. It's still a good shooter. It's got some neat little toys to it. It's got a lot going on. A lot of shots. But again, you're exactly right. The code,
very understandable.
I want to see Keith come back to this and do a little bit more of this.
I would love to see him replicate this in a JJP game.
Yes.
He's over at Jersey Tech. I would
because
love
this thing is an absolute masterpiece.
And it doesn't confuse you.
No.
Wow. All right, we better pause it there. We don't want to spoil number 1. We don't want to get to number 1.
Look at Stringer. He's not
Lord
a
of the
fan.
Rings, Cary. I can't even talk about Lord of the Rings except that I like the movie theme. I do like it. Don't, not love it as much as I love Star Wars, but go ahead.
I would have ranked it lower in the top 10, but overall, the top 10 in general, I could see it definitely being up there because it's just got so much in it. It's one of those games that's just like, man, this has got a lot going for it. It's a really great Gomez design. I don't know if I would ever own one, but I think that's just mainly because you just look at those games and you're like, man, and that game used to cost, I don't know, new in box was like, I don't know, $4,000 for that damn thing, or if not a little less.
Wow.
So you got to think, you see all that stuff in that game and you're like, man, that's a lot. That would be an expensive game. But back in the day, no, not really.
That would have been nice to have one then. It was 2003, it said. Ooh, that's a while ago. Wolf?
I owned it once. And while it's 2 here, I would say top 5.
Okay.
It's not. I don't think it's number 2. I think it's top 5. I mean, that's one of the longest games you can play. If you're decent at pinball, it's a long game. Like you can stand there for about an hour and just to get the wizard mode if you need to. But it's a long game.
To there and back.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 2. Kev, I can't say anything about it because I don't think I've ever played it, to be honest. So we'll pass on that one. But let's go before we get to number 1. We all know what number 1 is here because we've seen the video. But I want to know, Cary, are there any top 10s that were left off that you think should have been in the top 10?
Well, like I said, you have to account for their reasoning behind they chose these particular games, like all around. Like there's obviously games that shoot better, but there's also games that have better code, and they're trying to basically figure out which games kind of gave you an equal or all-around package. And I guess the one game that I was anticipating it to be on there, but I was like, I can't believe that didn't make the top 10 at least, was actually Total Nuclear Annihilation. And it's just a blast to play, especially cooperative with a few of your friends. It's got great soundtrack. The code is simple, but it's still challenging to play. I thought, for me, it's an overall well-round game. Wow. That's why I think, for me, I would have replaced Walking Dead with TNA.
Okay. All right, Wolf, what do you think? Any missing from the top 10?
You could have, I don't know. They did a pretty good job with it. I mean, there's like, for instance, he's got Getaway 2 back there. That should be in there. That's a fun game. That's one of Richie's better games. And I have Terminator 2. I have Terminator 3. It's sacrilege for me to say this because people love Terminator 2 so much, but I think 3 is the better game. Like it's got more code and everything else to it. It's a deeper game. So, I mean, people have their preference, but yeah, like for instance, I think Getaway should have belonged in that top 10 somewhere too. It's an iconic game. The music, the motor, everything else in it. So,
Kev, anything that you wanted to see in that list?
Yeah, the only thing maybe was Creature from the Black Lagoon. I really like that game. A lot of good hours on that game, and I'm surprised it wasn't there. But other than that, I mean, the list is pretty solid, in my opinion.
Okay, let me throw a couple out there. All right. Monster Bash, not top 10 worthy.
I suck at that game. And since I suck at it, I don't like it.
You know,
Okay, but it's a fun game. It's a fun game, collecting the rock stars.
You hit Frankenstein, it's coming down the middle, usually.
Okay. Yeah, that is a bad engineering design there. It does. Let me throw one out that's newer, and let me ask you guys, okay, maybe not now, but if we had this video 3 years from now, Godfather.
No.
No? Okay. I don't know, because I haven't heard enough about it. Not that good then.
Like if you want to do like all around, then no, this Godfather's flawed in other ways.
Okay.
I mean, it's if you want to go just by aesthetics, I can see it definitely be one of the prettier pins, but that's
it
JJP
was getting
in
a
general.
lot of hype, Cary. Don't tell me it wasn't getting hype. People saying they really liked it.
Oh, yeah, maybe. To each their own.
Guns N' Roses, maybe, not Godfather.
It's one of those games where I mean I played it and once again not a review, but like it's I just was like not for me.
Okay, all right. Foo Fighters.
What about
maybe top 10 one day?
I mean, yeah, I could see it. It's a great shooter and everything. I mean, I don't know why. I guess because it's new. Maybe they didn't want them included.
Sure. Yeah, I think because it's too new, they wouldn't put it on the list. But I've already seen some lists that throw it up in the top 10 already. Which
it's number 2 opposed to the number 1 game that they were about to get to when it comes to at least pin side. That's the thing is that majority of their list, I think 6 of them are in the actual top 10 on pin side.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious after I watched. I was like, okay, how many of those games are actually? And sure enough, 6 out of 10 are on the actual top 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right, who's ready for number 1? I think everybody. Well, I would wonder if people in our chat who haven't seen the video, if they even know this game is that good. Because again, I'm not a pinball channel per se, but here it is, guys. Number 1.
This is a newer game too.
How did a new game come in?
How did a new game? It's too early.
Knock out all these classics.
Well, it's one that is classic in its theme.
It is.
And the layout may be the greatest of all time.
It is.
It's designed by what many herald as the greatest pinball player of all time, the GOAT.
Coded to almost perfection.
Rick Nagel and the team over with Keith Elwin. This is Godzilla by Stern Pinball. I think objectively, this is the greatest pinball machine of all time at this point.
And do you know why that you can comfortably come in and say that, I feel, is because you take a theme that nobody really cared about. You've got some Godzilla fans. You got some people that are cool with it.
I didn't hate Godzilla, but I didn't care about it.
Yeah, nobody cared. And then
I'm a theme guy.
Yeah, and you take that and it can still become one of the greatest
It'll never leave my
pinball machine of all time. That's insane. That speaks volumes to what was created within that game. And this, again, is one of those things what we talked about it has everything.
It does have everything.
The art package is gorgeous. It shoots
Zombie
phenomenally.
again.
Yes.
Zombie
shoots
Eddie.
phenomenally. Keith Elwin is a master.
Code and well-balanced nature. The code is Rick Nagel.
Yes, which was fantastic. The call-outs, the music,
Campy
the
and fun.
sound. But it fits perfect. Everything is perfection with it.
Understand the rules.
Yes.
They're really easy to understand.
Yes.
But to get deep into that game, it's really tough.
It is.
It is really tough.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Go Godzilla. When Blue Oyster Cult comes on, it is rocking. Love that game. We'll start with you, Wolf. Godzilla, does it deserve the number 1 spot?
No. AFM, like I said, is my number 1. So
That's right. You
top
wanted
3
to tag
maybe.
for Mars.
Top 3 maybe.
Okay.
But I mean, I think AFM gets that spot for me at least.
Okay. But I mean, you can't argue that it's a great game. I mean,
No, it's a great game.
Okay.
It does have everything.
Has everything.
It does have everything. It has the art. He's right. He's right about all of that. But for me personally, I think AFM is a little more iconic.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my preference. But
Cary, give us your thoughts on number 1.
Rightfully so. I was expecting Godzilla to be number 1, and sure enough, it was. And it, every right to be that game. They mentioned everything about it. It's got great shots. The building mech was a very big game changer in pinball machines because for the longest time, we didn't have a large moving object in a pinball machine. So to see something of that
go up
mass,
right,
and how it changes direction of the balls in so many different ways, it was a big thing for us as pinball enthusiasts because we haven't seen that in a very long time. I think it's not very many games that have a large object like that. Just real quick off the top of my head was Waterworld when you had the ship that would rotate. That was a pretty large moving object in a game, but it didn't do nowhere near what the Godzilla building does and everything.
Right.
But everything on it, I would love to own one day. A buddy of mine, he was all about getting an Iron Maiden, and I told him he should try Godzilla, and he's like, I don't want no damn lizard game, and then he played it, and then he got a premium. So
yeah, the premium is pretty awesome. I've played it a few times, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the battles with all the monsters and all that stuff. It's just a good game. Kev, you've played it?
Yeah, I played it. I'm kind of with Wolfanoz. I would actually move this to 4 and then move the other guys up, like Medieval and Attack from Mars. I think it's great, but I like games that are like when you go up to the table and you look down at it, like an Attack or Medieval, you know what's going on. I can't get through like a lot of this game because I don't have time and people are up you to play this. So like maybe if I had a lot more time and change my view on it, but it's definitely amazing with the, like you said, with the music and the call out. It's just insane. So it's definitely a top 10. I think it's really like 4 or 3, not 1.
Well, what I'm surprised, thank you, Stringer, for the $2. This is BS. Roy Clark, Cocktail Pinball is the GOAT. All right. Who's Roy Clark? Somebody help me out. Wolfanoz, do you know what he's talking about?
Man. You didn't watch Hee-Haw at all?
Oh, I did, but he's a Hee-Haw guy? Okay.
Yeah. Put the banjo on Hee-Haw.
Thank you, Stringer Films, for that. Okay. The thing with me on this one is it overcame the theme. Like, people didn't think the theme was going to be that great. Godzilla, they're like Godzilla, and it overcame the theme to be the #1 table, which definitely means that it's that good. You know, if you can overcome that, where people of our age, I mean, well, I grew up with Godzilla, so I shouldn't say that. I grew up with it. You know, remember all the Godzilla movies, and so I had some, you know, nostalgia for Godzilla. But I didn't think it was going to be that good. But when I played it, man, it was fun. There's no question. Somebody mentioned, I think, the bridge mech as well. That is awesome. You can't go wrong with Godzilla, guys. But real quick, if you are going to get Godzilla, I saw somebody said they didn't like the Pro. And it could be an interesting thing because, for example, when I played James Bond, I hated the Pro. I thought it was awful. I was like, this James Bond game is terrible. Then I played the premium, and I'm like, okay, I can deal with this James Bond with the premium. But Cary, which one? Do you have to go with the premium on Godzilla, or can you get away with the Pro?
It's one of those where I would want to do premium. It's like if I had no other choice, like, you know, I just got to do what I got to do. But I would definitely go with the premium if you can get it. I know it's more expensive, but it's just the way to go when it comes to just overall much more enjoyable experience with all the extra mechs. And once again, you can really mod the hell out of this game, and you can chunk a bunch of money into it. There's mods like the Neo Tokyo sign. I think that actually just got finished getting discontinued, if I'm correct on that one. But it's a pretty expensive mod, but I want to say they stopped making it. But it's one of those mods that was beautiful, and the game overall, like you said, Rexer, on this one is that whenever it first got, you know, I guess the rumor was it's going to be Godzilla. And I was like, man, it's going to be Godzilla. It's not going to theme that I'm going to get behind. And then we found out that it's going to be the old school Godzilla. And I'm like, man, it's really not going to be a thing I'm going to get behind on this. And then you actually see the game, and I'm like, okay, this looks pretty damn awesome. And then they had the Dead Flip stream that showed us how it was played with Keith and everything. And I was like, this game's awesome.
Yeah. Cary's like, he's not fighting King Kong in this. And well, come on, what the hell is this? You know,
he wanted Matthew Broderick's version from the 90s.
Yeah, I want another. They already did that one. Yeah,
exactly.
Good old Sega.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we are going to wrap it up. That's enough for this show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your comments. What should have been #1? What's your #1? I appreciate everybody joining. Cary Hardy, thank you very much. Wolfanoz, you've been a guest on here before, and I appreciate you always coming back.
Anytime, brother.
So thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you later.
See everybody.